Welcome back to On the Rise, as Jesse Marsch has done it yet again by landing yet another dual national and recruiting the CONCACAF dual national in the Canadian-Mexican Youth International, the 19-year-old striker in Santiago Lopez. That is right, the Canadian Youth International and Mexican Youth International is reportedly recruited by Jesse Marsch to join the Canadian senior team in the September friendly window. And this won't be to a cap-tie situation as it is a friendly window, but joining this Canadian setup will be Santiago Lopez. And this is all being reported through a Mexican outlet and a Mexican journalist in Alejandro Orvanos, and this is just extremely exciting. As Santiago Lopez, if you're not familiar, was more recently with the Canadian youth ranks, with the Canadian U20 level, and a very new outlook of the Canadian U20 side where they've looked very good with some brilliant, exciting, young, talented players. And they managed to lose out to Panama at the quarterfinals, but Santiago Lopez was at the heart of this team, was that star boy, was the shining light through this Canadian U20 side. And everyone thought that he should be called up to the first team, should be getting looked at to be cap-tied, and Jesse Marsch has taken that, has seen him, and is giving him that September call-up. And this is extremely exciting because Santiago Lopez is only 19 years old. He's playing first-team football in Liga MX, but also for the Canadian U20 side, he was sensational. 3 goals, 2 assists, scoring some absolutely brilliant goals along the way. Santiago Lopez is a brilliant talent with a very high ceiling. And the fact that Canada is going to land him ahead of Mexico, or being able to call him in to the senior squad in that September window, to have him get integrated into that senior squad, to see what Jesse Marsch does in his day-to-day training, in the day-to-day practicing, and just see how the system runs, is very important to landing a very young dual national. And the fact he's already playing with us at the U20 level already goes very far to show that he wants to represent the Canadian U20 level. But guys, before we dive into it even more, make sure to drop down below in the comments and let me know your guys' thoughts around Santiago Lopez joining the senior team in September. Do you think he should get some minutes? Do you think we should move on to start cap-tying him? Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to hit the like button and drop a sub, guys. I appreciate all the support on the channel, and it means the absolute world to me, guys. But Santiago Lopez, at 19 years old, is very exciting. Like I say, he has abundance of talent. He's a very high ceiling as a footballer and is already playing first team for Pumas in Liga MX in Mexico. And that's a very good team, and he is only 19 years old. And that is just very exciting. Yes, it's only been 2 appearances off the bench as a substitute, not earning many minutes, but at 19 years old in Liga MX, which is more so a physical league at times as well, and more of a demanding league, it's very exciting from a 19-year-old. And I know some Mexican supporters might be saying, well, he doesn't get into our squad, he's not a top player, he wouldn't be starting for us, he wouldn't make our bench. But I think that's just covering up the loss of Santiago Lopez, because Santiago Lopez has looked like such a very good talent, such a very exciting and bright player. What he's been able to do with Canada at the youth level just catches anyone's eye, especially if you watch this U20 team. You can just see the talent he has, you can just see that he oozes skill and oozes brilliance, and really dragged this U20 team across the line, having a goal and assist against Honduras, having an assist against Dominican, having a goal against El Salvador, and a goal against Panama, and scoring some beautiful goals at that. Santiago Lopez has it in abundance, and you might just be saying, well, who is he keeping off the roster in September? And that's a great question for these September friendlies. But when you're looking at these September friendlies, there's many leagues just starting. There's many leagues just getting their feet under them. For instance, you got Kyle Larin starting off on the bench for Mallorca, and against Real Madrid, not getting that many minutes. You have many other strikers for this Canadian national team who will be just getting their feet under them in Europe, who will just be getting their seasons kicked off, who are just getting fitness back up. So some strikers might just want to stay at their European clubs. Some strikers might just be getting ready to full fitness. And you never know. It's a very interesting time right now for players in Europe. But also, Jesse Marsch might not be taking his A squad to the September window. There's also been rumors of Kawasi Poku being rumored to be involved in the September window as well, who's also just made a very good transfer to RWD Molenbeek in the second division in Belgium. So when you look at this, you might just be saying, well, who is he keeping out of that squad? Well, Jesse Marsch might not be taking an A squad. He might be taking a mix of an A and B squad, bringing some youngsters in, having a look at them, getting them involved and integrated in the seniors team. And I think it can't be ruled out how important it is to get youth players like Santiago Lopez involved in training, involved in the day-to-day runnings of how Jesse Marsch likes to see his squad run at an international level. And of course, there's two very good friendlies. We have to remember who he's going to be involved against. He is going to be in one of the most intense matchups in Canada history in a rivalry, which is going to see Jesse Marsch and Canada take on the USMNT and Mauricio Pochettino. And that is just a huge game. And for Santiago Lopez to feel the environment, to see how Jesse Marsch is going to get this side going for a very big fixture, although it might be a friendly, that is a fixture Jesse Marsch is not going to be taking lightly. So Santiago Lopez is involved in that squad, is involved in training. He is going to see a fierce atmosphere. And Jesse Marsch, might I remind you, is going to want to leave everything out on that pitch and is going to want to beat USMNT. So it's going to be huge for Santiago Lopez to just be in that atmosphere, let alone maybe get game time. It's going to be massive for him to be involved in the squad, and for Jesse Marsch to even call him up for such an important window. I know some people might not think it's an important window, but for Jesse Marsch, having two crucial games against the two biggest sides in CONCACAF besides Canada, he is going to need to prove himself. Whether it's friendlies, whether it's CONCACAF Nations League, whether it's World Cup qualifying, Jesse Marsch is going to want to put a stamp on this team against two of the big powerhouses in CONCACAF, and especially against USMNT. And it's also going to be very interesting for Santiago Lopez because Mexico, seeing him go to Canada, they might make a push for him. You'd have to think it would be a push for him. But also, we're playing Mexico in this friendly window. So Santiago Lopez might get minutes against Mexico. It would be very funny to see, very cool to see a Mexican-Canadian dual national getting minutes against his opposite nation where he could be representing. Because right now, we've seen him represent Mexico at the U18 level and Canada at the U20 level, where he's played a lot more for Canada's youth team than Mexico's team, and you can just see where his heart lies. Mexico might push for him, but I can't see him choosing Mexico over Canada right now. And the fact that Jesse Marsch is saying, come to the squad, we want you involved in the first team, we want you to see how training is, we want to maybe give you minutes as well. It would be very fun to see him take on Mexico in that friendly window as well. But this would be a very intelligent, a very smart call-up from Jesse Marsch, and just in terms, a great piece of business if this Canadian men's national team can land and secure Santiago Lopez, the 19-year-old from Pumas, who Mexican journalist Alejandro Orvanos has reported as a Mexican gem. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. How do you guys feel about Santiago Lopez? Have you guys watched him with the U20s? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. All the support means the absolute world to me, guys, and all the appreciation in the world, and I really appreciate all the support. Smash that sub button, drop a like, and I'm going to be trying to have daily uploads as much as possible, guys, around all the news around our Canadian men's national team. And I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.